Okay, so we have here today cerulean blue, ivory black, and titanium white. So I'm going to take cerulean blue, that's for the door. I thought cerulean blue, a blue color would look really nice. I mean, red will look great too, but cerulean blue or blue, an earthy, soft blue will look great with the colors we're going to be using here. So I'm taking cerulean blue. I'm going to take a bit of black in here. Don't add too much black. Just kind of a grayish blue.
Yes.
It's a soft, soft grayish blue and white. And I'm going to wipe my brush. All right. And start adding this color. Add a wash, because if you put a wash slowly, don't put too heavy. Don't go too heavy at first, because you can still see the lines of the door, the frame, and then we'll add slowly. We'll start adding highlights and shadows or dark. So we'll adjust the values. You don't want to go too light. Don't use too much white, because you know you can't highlight if you do that. And then what we'll do, once we do this, we'll put the frame, the lights and darks, and the last thing we'll do is we put the texture of the wood. We'll add a nice texture
on the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
on
top. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What kind of texture? The fiber?
The wood, like, you know, the grain, the wood grain. Oh. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let this dry, this first layer dry. I can still see the lines underneath. Not clear, but enough for me to be able to, you know, put some detail on this door. Okay. Right, it has to dry. Okay, next step. We're gonna take blue and black And we're not going to use white now, just blue and black. And it's more like a kind of a transparent color. You can see here.
The second code.
Yes, yes. So the black is not going to be all over the door, all over. It's going to be in certain areas. So this is to create the shadow, more like a darker area where there's darker.
On the top.
Yes, on the top. Side. Because the door, between the door frame and the actual stone that you see, there will be a darker line in there.
This is just black and there's no white.
No white. Cerulean blue and black. And it doesn't really have to be perfectly done because we're going to go over this eventually and highlight. This door is supposed to be an old door, right? It's not you know,
Modern. Look.
clean and it's what, you know, it's like weathered, right? Kind of.
Mine looks really weathered because I put the medium on the
The door? On the door?
well, not on part like the frame that we're doing now.
It's okay.
That's fine.
It's okay.
So Cindy sent me one of her pictures.
Nice.
Are you recording?
Yes. It's okay. Were you saying, you're saying Cindy sent you one of her pictures? We're not talking politics or.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Fine.
Can you show me which one she sent you?
Yeah, can I just put when we break, just so I can move, because I have to get it out of the folder
Okay.
and it's the one that looks like my sister. I don't know if she'll agree with me, but
Your sister?
that's what she's getting for her birthday.
I'm sure she'll love it.
Yeah, she will. She loves being spoiled.
Who doesn't?
Of course. Oh, you're putting it all over, not just on the frame?
No, no, no. Just kind of, I'm brushing leftover paint on just the, you see, this part right here is gonna catch more light than whatever, like the all of those, all of this area here. So I'm just preparing layers and layers. We're gonna be doing more layers and you'll see. It's just brushing off where I think that there is shadow, there's darker. Because you see in the reference, you'll see, if you look at the reference, you'll see that the light is mostly here, in here. But all of this, all around, even the bottom part of the door is like that because of the, you know, it's old, it's an old door. But very soft shadow inside all around, because this door is in, it's right kind of, this part is framing the door, so it's blocking some of the light. So to make it look like it's going in, we need some darks all around to push it in. Now, usually when I do doors like that, I have to find out where the light is coming from. But in this one here, I think the light is coming from the top.
Yeah.
So the only reason I try to find where the light is coming from is that because when you do a frame, when you frame a door, and I'll show you in a minute, okay? I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna divide the wall, the door in half. And I mean, this you could do later on if you want with a ruler or freehand. So if I'm doing this right now, and I am going to put the frame the door, like put some, okay. All right. Now the bottom part, and I'm going to increase the amount of black in here so I can see it. Now sideways. Okay, so now I have frame for this door. So if I am in working with light and dark, working where, you know, finding out where the light is coming from, I'm looking at the reference right now. In the reference, there are no lights and darks on the frame. So if I want to do it myself. If I say that this light is coming from top, hitting this here, from here, not side down, that means that this part of the door, the frame, this part of the frame right here, top part is dark. Top, dark, dark. Bottom part, this is when I'm going to add white. And it's going to be on this part down here. Oh, that's not enough. Okay, down here. Oh, that's too much. Okay, again, down here. And all of a sudden, when you do this, the door looks more 3D. It looks more realistic. I haven't done anything else. Just put a bit of white and dark on the frame itself. We don't need to do more. Like, we don't need to do a lot. That's good enough. That's like kind of perfect right now. So now I'm going to go back to the blue, black, and white. Put some water in here. Some more blue in here. Because it became like I added too much white and white and black, and it turned really like gray. So I put back some blue. Now, I want to put more of the highlights in here, from this part down. Highlight this area.
What are you using for the highlights?
Blue, black, and white. But it's more like a, yeah, just blue, black, and white. That's it, actually. Again, down here. So the reason up there, I started over on this side, on this, I didn't go up. I can go up, I can do this. Like I can go, but I'm trying to create the illusion that this door is so much in, like what is it, recessed? No, what do you call it?
Recess.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to show it. I'm pushing it back. So this area here will look like casting a shadow over the door. That's why you're getting this shadow or highlight starting from here down. I'm gonna take black. And I mix my paint, but I do, I put my brush in water too, so it's not heavy. My paint is not heavy. And then I try it. Try. Oh, beautiful. It's more highlighted, lovely. So if we have highlights here, that means we're gonna have highlights on the frame. Oh, geez. Let's not make it too perfect. Keep it interesting. Hmm.
Leal, is there glare on it or is it really light? The
Yeah,
light,
it's like
it's very light.
yeah, it's like this part up here, but it's not that light. Okay. Let me adjust. I'll try to adjust the settings of the camera. More or less. Kind of like this, what you're seeing right now. So it is lighter, but it will dry darker. So it's not like a white. Don't do it. If you see white, it's never white. It's not. The corner of my brush, just adjusting a bit the colors in here. I really am not trying to make the lines look straight or perfect. I think the panels are not the same size, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to keep it like that. So when I do, in a case like this, what I do is I try to take the colors I'm using up here and put them down in this area before I start highlighting and putting more detail. I try to add some of these colors, whatever I use around, down at the bottom as well. Random, doesn't have to be for now, it's just random. It's just adding colors used up here, up there, down. So just kind of. More like a glaze in here. And you see, the more colors you add, the nicer it looks. And then we will put a highlight and you will see some of the blue showing through. Okay. So for the wood grain, because everything here is highlighted or, you know, shadow and light and everything, so we're good. I'm going to mix blue and black, and I'm using a round brush, small round brush. I'm going to use kind of a glaze. See how it's easy to move my brush. So if I want to, that's awesome. That's good. Okay. Let's clean it up a bit. All right. So I'm going to start from the middle panel, let's say. I'm going to take the middle panel. And I'm just going to start from top and just kind of, oh, hold
You
on.
said blue and black?
Blue and black. I'm just going to make my color a bit darker so you can see it. Yeah, just blue and black.
Watery.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Otherwise, your brush is not going to move easily on the. and that will give it, if by the time I'm done, this is too heavy or too strong, I can glaze it down. Like I glaze it with a bit of light blue, and it will just make it less heavy. So your brush stroke shouldn't be. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it too heavy, too strong. A suggestion is enough. So if I do this, because by the time we're done, this is going to be too busy. But it will look interesting. Maybe a knot here and there, a couple of knots in the wood, imperfection. John, you're good at that, I'm sure. For someone who works, John. All right, so these are the panels. We can leave it at that with the panels only without doing the outer kind of wood part, the frame, just the inside. Or we could just take it, do this frame, but make it not as busy, maybe. Just a bit of a suggestion with the a bit more water in with my kind of a couple here and there. And that will just give it enough texture without having to add too much. All right, so I'll wait for it to dry. And if there's too much detail or texture or grain in here, I can just tone it down with a glaze over. And that will push everything back. A glaze of blue. It will look perfect. So this is like, I can see this is really strong right there. But it's, it will look, by the time we put the handles and everything, it will look good. Show the glaze. All right, so now I'm gonna glaze. So I'm gonna take, it's dry enough, I can glaze. So I'm gonna take blue, black, same thing in white, but I'm gonna make sure I have water in here. So it's a glaze, of course, it has to be transparent. Okay, let's take some here and try. Let's go over here. Let's see this one here and there, voila, pushing it, softening all this. I mean, you could kind of do this glaze before when you're doing the grain, but it's very hard to control the grain or to control the value so you can see the grain. But if you do it after, if you glaze after the door, after you put the grain, if you glaze, it's easier. If you glaze the door, so you could see kind of some of these, some of the grain showing, but not as much, not strong. There. I can still see the glaze, the grain, but it's not heavy. If my value is, or if it's too light, you know, if I put a light blue and I find that it's too light for the glaze, you know, go back and pick up some black or blue and put it on. Perfect, there. It's awesome. This is just working good. Okay, for this part, I'm using burnt umber, titanium buff, and I have some black in here too. So usually I like to see more than one color in there, like I mentioned before. But for now, those three colors are fine. Black, burnt umber, and titanium buff. And I start really kind of slowly. I don't highlight right away. So I wait for it to dry and then I go over and then I go more brown, more highlights. The corner of my brush, just going across. Bit more of the titanium buff. Slowly, I'm getting to not exactly the same color as the frame, but close in terms of value. So they connect softly. This part is not an important part. It is there, but it's not a focal point. And eventually I'll put some blue in there too, and I'll put some orange in there. Exactly what I have on the wall. I can use the orange when I start doing the pot right there, terracotta pot. So I can use some of the orange in here. There's a lot of work to go, just still coming, you know, the flowers and the greens and the, so.
You're saying we're not gonna finish tonight.
No,
Yeah.
no.
All right, so now it's a bit more highlights in here. And it's really usually better to wait a bit, because what I'm doing right now is just because I'm doing a demo. I'm trying to put the colors right now, highlights right now, everything. I usually wait for it to dry and then I do the highlights.
Your titanium buff has black and brown in it. Burnt
Yes,
umber, I mean.
yes, burnt umber, touch of black, not much, just a bit. So all of a sudden, I'm getting that beautiful kind of color that's connecting with the rest of the painting. Of course, like I mentioned, I'm going to be adding some blues, and so this is just a couple of first layer. I would kind of, you will see once you start adding those beautiful blues in there too, with the same blues that we've been using, it makes it much more interesting. It's not just one color. You will see a little kind of blue up there, just kind of here and there. Not, it doesn't have to be like a dark blue. It could be just a glaze of a blue that's just showing a bit, not much. So there we go. And then orange is the same. So all of a sudden, all of this connects, all of these layers. This is a very light glaze of blue and white and black. And it's a very transparent glaze. And all I'm doing is I am adding some of this blue in here randomly, not in a way like it's very like it's there, but it's not obvious. And that will connect the door color with the frame. There we go. That's awesome. This will look great. So there we go. Just a bit with the corner of my brush, a glaze over here of blue, and that's it. Now for the bottom part, it is the same, meaning here. It's the same, but it depends how much highlight I'm going to put in there eventually. So I wait for it to dry, then I highlight. And I think the more I highlight, the nicer it will look. And I always find that glazing these on colors on top of each other is the best thing. Because you can see layers and layers of colors on top of each other. It's not heavy. There's texture, but it's a soft texture.